Hello again, everybody. This is Rusty, aka William Robinson, aka Dr. Robinson, and I am the Blues Doctor. This is my podcast, The Blues Doctor Recommends, and we're glad you're here. You may notice kind of a different setup today. I am in New Orleans while the rest of our crack production staff is still in Orange Beach. So I'm having to do this one solo, so I'll do the best I can. At any rate, please sit back, subscribe, share, hit the thumbs up button, make comments, all of those things, and we'll get on with it. On the calendar this week, there's a couple of interesting things. To begin with, on October 29th, 2003, researchers in Ohio actually described something they call the brain itch or cognitive itch. And basically that means when you hear in your brain a song and it just won't go away and you keep singing it over and over and over again for several minutes or hours or sometimes days, that's what they're calling a brain itch. They actually documented it with a couple of different songs. One of them was Who Let the Dogs Out by the Baha Men and the Village People's YMCA. I guess those were the songs out at the time. Anyway, this was according to Professor James Kalaris, I believe I pronounced his name right, of the University of Chicago College of Business Administration. Apologize, Dr. Kalaris, if I didn't say that correctly. I probably wouldn't have picked those particular songs. Maybe you would have, but I certainly get a brain itch occasionally. I was trying to think the last one I had probably was with the band Collective Soul. I've been listening to a lot of Collective Soul lately, and one of their songs titled December became a brain itch for me just recently. And I heard it in my head on and off several times over the past couple of days.
Why drink the water from my hand? Contagious since you think I am. Just took my son to your domain. Your cup runneth over again. Don't scream aloud, don't think aloud. Turn your head now, baby, just spit me out. Don't worry about, don't speak it down. Turn your head now, baby, just spit me out.
So, do you have a song like that? Do you get a brain itch? I think we all do at sometimes. If you do, tell us your most recent brain itch in the comments and we'll publish it here. Hopefully, we'll get a few responses and have some fun with that. Also, October 28th was an interesting day for a couple of events. First, in 1956, October 28th, 1956, Elvis Presley made his second of 3 appearances on The Ed Sullivan Show. In his first appearance, which had been just a few weeks before that, he had been seen by 70 plus million viewers and had a share of about 82.5% of the total American TV audience listening to him, which was unheard of. It had never been done before. They weren't quite as record breaking for this particular performance, but they really were probably better. The performance was probably better in a way. Elvis even himself said that. They were less nervous. They understood the production layout of a big, national TV show, and it just came across better. You could tell just as soon as Elvis walks on, he's in total command at this point. He's got the audience in the palm of his hand, and he knows it. He really nails it on the song Hound Dog, and Scotty Moore, his guitarist, who is just legendary also, really gets to show off a little bit on that song. Any rate, it was really good. It's on YouTube, so I can recommend listening to that. Then on October 28th in 2014, the Allman Brothers Band played their last show ever, their last live performance ever at the Beacon Theater in New York City. It ended just after midnight in order to coincide with the date of Dwayne Allman's death, which was October 29th, 1971. Appropriate that way, I think. There are recordings of this on YouTube as well, and they're terrific as far as I'm concerned. I saw the Allman Brothers band several times live, probably at least five over the years, and at least one when Dwayne was still alive. And there are some days when they've been better and some days where they've been worse. I think at times drugs and alcohol and maybe just apathy took a toll on the band. But in this performance at the Beacon that night, they were really on their game. They completely had it dialed in. I guess they knew this was going to be the last time around, so they really wanted to give it their all, and it shows on the film. You can also look this up on YouTube and catch it as well, and that's another thing I can recommend. We got a very nice response last week from the discussion of the myths and misconceptions associated with lung cancer, and I appreciate that. I appreciate the comments about it. I think we're going to continue that as a theme with some other cancers. So I was going to suggest, if you all in the audience want to discuss a particular cancer, please let us know in the comments, and we'll try to do that next time or sometime. Maybe we'll do it as like an occasional feature or theme to the show. At any rate, today I wanted to talk about something else that's been in the news lately. It's kind of an update to something I've talked about in a previous video, and that's Dr. Kevin O'Connor. As you may recall, Dr. O'Connor was the personal physician of former President Joe Biden, and he has been criticized heavily for potentially participating in a cover-up of the president's cognitive decline as well as the diagnosis of prostate cancer. As you might remember, it was announced that President Biden had metastatic stage 4 prostate cancer just a few days almost after he stepped down from office this year. And many pundits criticized that heavily, saying, oh, he must have known, or somebody must have known that he had prostate cancer before this. It couldn't possibly have progressed that fast. And as I said previously, that's not at all true. Every physician who has been around for any length of time has had a patient or more than one who had a perfectly normal physical exam, blood tests were all normal, imaging studies normal, and then within a few weeks of that come up with a diagnosis of metastatic cancer of some sort. That's just the way it is. Aggressive cancers like the kind President Biden has just act that way. It's no one's fault that he was diagnosed with cancer, but that's what happens. Anyway, Representative Comey has since then, in fact, just last week, contacted the District of Columbia Medical Board to suggest or recommend that they investigate Dr. Connor and potentially punish him for this, including possibly suspending his medical license to practice in the District of Columbia.
And I need to clarify something here. I didn't explain this very well. Representative James Comer was the chair of the House Oversight Committee that subpoenaed Dr. Ed O'Connor to come in and testify regarding President Biden's cancer diagnosis. And that's why he contacted the DC Medical Board.
I've been involved with several different medical boards over the years, and I can tell you that's extremely rare for an elected government official to contact them and recommend that a physician be punished in some fashion for something like this. Certainly not on a national scale. My feeling is that there's virtually no state medical board anywhere that is really going to do anything with this. My suspicion is that they will file that contact from Representative Comey and quietly let it go away. I just can't see a medical board responding to what is clearly a political objective. Specifically, it's not even what they asked about. They asked about President Biden's cancer diagnosis in the subcommittee hearing, but not specifically his cognitive decline. So that's not really what they're questioning Dr. Connor's judgment about. As I said, physicians are not omniscient, and cancer frequently doesn't do what we want it to do or what anybody wants it to do. So it's nobody's fault that the president was diagnosed with cancer. Representative Comey has, as I said, turned this into a political scandal when it should be just a medical issue, and I am disappointed in him. And I hope that this doesn't go any further than this, and I also hope that it doesn't happen again.
Rock me all night long. I want you to rock me, mama. Just like a Cadillac I love on. Come on, Joe.
I got a chance last night to see a band that we presented here before, here in New Orleans, playing live, and they did a cool version of a great song I really like. It's a great guitar rock song that's been around for a good while.
Sleep all day and all night. I know where you're going. I don't think that's happening right. You don't think it's showing. Jumping up and falling down. Don't misunderstand me. You don't think I know your plan. What you been trying to let me?
And that was Southern Tragedy was the name of the band. And the song was Funk Number 49, which was released in 1970 by the James Gang featuring Joe Walsh. What a great song that is. When I first started playing the electric guitar, which was about 1970, this was one of the first songs I played with a band. So it's kind of a favorite of mine. And it's still fun to play to this day. So I hope you enjoyed it. Southern Tragedy will be performing for the next few weeks at Honky Tonk Bourbon Street, that is on Bourbon Street in New Orleans, on Thursday and Saturday nights, starting at 8 p.m., going till midnight or so. So if you're in New Orleans, I would strongly encourage you to give them a look. And we've got one more thing for you. We now have Blues Doctor Recommends t-shirts. That's right, the Blues Doctor now has 100% cotton, top quality Hanes unisex shirts available. It's got the logo on it from the podcast that you see each week and on our Facebook posts. So here you go, the Blues Doctor Recommends podcast with that cool looking guy there. We have several colors available, black and navy and gray. We also have limited number of sizes in medium, large, and extra large. And one t-shirt for only $25. You can't go wrong with that. Send me your email information in the comments or by messenger, and I'll get back to you and send you our Venmo information. And that's about all we have for now. You know, as I mentioned last week, unfortunately, Tulane got trapped by University of Texas San Antonio. Tulane played miserably, and it showed on the scoreboard, and I can't even bring myself to tell you what the score is. At any rate, believe it or not, they still have a chance at winning the conference championship. Tulane has to play Memphis in Memphis on Friday, November 7th in the Liberty Bowl Stadium, and that game will likely determine the conference championship. So, as I usually say at this time, please watch next week's podcast, okay? See you later.